Hey everyone, this is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Rose Terrace by Riffclown. And I'm always really happy when I get a Riffclown puzzle because I'm never 100% sure what I'm going to get because Riffclown does some amazing stuff. And one of the things I think Riff Clown is probably the unsung hero of the Sudoku community. If I was to be asked who has probably contributed the most to the Sudoku community over the last couple of years, there's a few names that would come up. Sven is one of them, Ranksk is one of them. But Riff Clown is probably the man behind the scenes who is most responsible for keep both building, growing, and empowering this community more than any other. Definitely more than me. No, myself and I'm going to say others like me. We promote the content that's out there. We bring some visibility to it. But this community wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the creative talent behind it. um, it's all well and good to present puzzles and sort of up the visibility, but it's the creative power behind these puzzles and making the community around that is absolutely the heart of what this has become. You hear people talk about all of the growth and everything that's happened, and I honestly feel that having looked at the different ways that this has happened, Riffclown is probably the person who has positively contributed to that more than anyone else that I could think of. He has driven creation. He has come up with ideas that he's released into the wild. People who have issues with it, he always is. He is just a positive influence in the community in a way that I cannot. I just have not. Other people are as well. Don't get me wrong. Like this is one of the most positive communities I've ever been involved in, but it's just for years now. At the heart of not every great thing I've seen in the community, but many of them, Riffclown has just always been there supporting people. And I don't, he an unsung hero. I mean, I'm singing his praises now, but he's not as first and foremost as some of them. If you were to go to many people in the community and say who are the 10 most influential people in the community, I don't think most people would list Riffclown in their top 10 at all. And I would be hard pressed not to put him at number one. So I just want to say thank you to Riffclown for everything you do, and I want people to know that there is a huge, what he does is stunning. However, his puzzles can be really tricky, so I don't know what I'm in for here. So this is Rose Terrace by Riffclown. Eep. And it's a killer Sudoku, and when Riffclown gets his hands on something as simple as killer, yeah, this could be interesting. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. So, in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Digits in cages must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So, for example, in this 22 cage, those 3 cells will sum to 22. In this cage, those cells will sum to 28. Digits may not repeat within cages. So, it would not be okay for me to put 2 5s in there. Even though that is perfectly acceptable by Sudoku for many reasons, it is not allowed because those 2 cells are in the same cage. That's what we've got. Yeah, that's what we've got. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. That cell would go in one of those 2 cells in that box. And I can see that straight away. I just got it from highlighting that because it cannot repeat in its cage and it cannot repeat in its row. So that goes into one of those 2. That goes into one of those 2. And these cages are all shaped the same. So that goes in one of those 2. That goes in one of those 2. Yeah, same down here. That goes in one of those 2. That goes in one of those 2. I'm not sure how that helps me. Well, in this box, I can immediately see that these are 1, 2, 4, and 7. Okay. Hang on, these are all 28 cages, and these are all 36 cages. Is this the trick similar to what I did with Ironworks? A video that I have... let's not talk about that. So this cell here goes in one of those two because it cannot repeat in its cage and it cannot repeat in its row. So this cell goes in one of those. This cell goes in one of those. This cell goes in one of those. So this is one of Riff's geometry puzzles. But these are 28 cages. So these are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is the triangular number for 28. So all of these cages are 1 through 7. So I can never put an 8 or a 9 into one of those cages. So 8, because these are all 1 through 7. So none of those cells there can take an 8 or a 9. None of those yellow cells can take an 8 or a 9. So in this row, 8 and 9 must be in those. So 8 is in one of those two and 9 is in one of those two. In this column, 8 is in one of those two and 9 is in one of those two. In this row, 8 is in one of those two and 9 is in one of those two. And in this column, 8 is in one of those two and 9 is in one of those two. So that's put 8 and 9 into each of these 36 cages. Now that's done with the yellow because I don't want to just pencil mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a terrible pencil mark. So I'll do it up here. I don't know why. I always look at the bottom rather than the top, even when it's symmetrical, possibly because this is the foundation of the puzzle. But these cells here sum to 36. These cells sum to 45. Now, I've been told by many viewers that I am not supposed to reveal that information, but any box, row, or column of a Sudoku it contains all of the digits 1 to 9. The sum of those digits is 45. And as much as other channels like to say that they own that data, they don't. That's just math. So we know that yellow is 36 and green is 45. But we know that this cell exists in one of those two. So say this is there. It could also be there, but let's say it's there. So we would know that these are the same digit. So we can basically remove them. Let's just remove them color-wise. So what we know is these cells are 36 minus that, and these cells are 45 minus that. So because, yeah. So the difference between green and yellow is 30. Yeah, so this is 36 minus whatever this was, and green is 45 minus whatever that was. So we know that the difference between that and that is the difference between 45 and 36. And these green in this situation would be 9, and if this was there, these would be 9. So what we know is, I don't know if this is helping me at all, but what we know is these cells up here are going to be this cell in one of those two, and the other two cells would sum to 9. Now, they can't be 1, 8, because the 8 is not available, but they could be 2, 7, 3, 6, or 4, 5. But there's going to be this digit plus another 2 digits that sum to 9. Now, the makeup of a 22 cage isn't quite forced. I'm going to actually use the calculator. Yeah, there must be a 9 in it, though. But I know 8 and 9 must appear in these corners, because 8 and 9 is in there, so it can't be in there. It's in there, so it can't be in there. So 8 and 9 is in here. But this is either 5, 8, 9, or 6, 7, 9, and that's an 8. But that could work. There must be a 9 in this 22 cage, but there doesn't have to be an 8 in it as well. The 18 cage can have a 9, but it doesn't need one. I could put the 9 there, which would put the 9 there, which would put the 9 there, which would put the 9 there, but I can put a 9 in a 21 cage. That's not a problem. But this cell goes in one of those two. So if this is hang on. This cell goes in one of those two. I'd already found that because that was the first thing I found. Because wherever that is, it can't go in its row and it can't go in its cage. So it's in one of those two. But that can't be 9. That's a maximum of 7. Hang on, but this 22 cage, this is a minimum of 5. Because 5, 8, 9 or 6, 7, 9, this is a minimum of 5. So this is 5, 6 or 7. Because this has to go in here. And I can't put an 8 or a 9 in here because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I can't put a 1, 2, 3 or 4 in the 22 cage. So this is 5, 6 or 7. But is that the same? Yeah, that's the same, isn't it? Because this cell here can't go there or in there. So it's in one of those two. But this is also a 22 cage, which can't take a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And this can't take an 8 or a 9. So this is 5, 6, or 7. But this has to go in one of those two. And that can only be a 1, a 2, or a 4. Oh, that is stunning. So if I put a 1 here, I've got to put a 1 in one of those. If I put a 1 here, where do I put it in this box now? If this is a 1, I can't repeat it in the cage. I can't repeat it in the row, and neither of those can be a 1 because I can't put a 1 in the 22 cage. If this is a 2, I can't repeat it in the cage. I can't repeat it in a row. Can't put it in any of those because I can't put a 2 in the 22 cage. 4 can't be in the cage, can't be in the row, can't put 4 in a 22 cage. Because if I put 4 in a 22 cage, the other two cells would have to sum to 18 and they'd have to be double 9. So this is a 7, and one of these is a 7, which means none of those is a 7. Which means whatever is here has to go in one of those, and therefore has to go in one of those. Wait a minute. No, that's not as powerful, is it? Because I've got a cell outside of the 22 cage. But there is a 7, an 8, and a 9 in this. No. But hang on, the other two cells sum to 9. So I've got a 7 and two cells that sum to 9. So it's either 3, 6 or 4, 5. So this is a 3 or a 4. I don't know what that does. So if this was a 1, that would put a 1 in one of those two. But it could hide a 1 here. So if this was a 1, I could put a 1 there. No, I couldn't. But if if there was a 1 there, I could hide a 1. Wait a minute. If this is a 1, this could be a 1. But then I'd put a 1 there, and then I've got 1 in the cage and in the box, and that's all good. And then I could put a 1 down here. Now that does work. I'm not sure. But these are now 1, 2, 4, and 2 digits that sum to 9. So I am very confused. There's a 7 here. 7 goes in here, and this becomes 7, 9, and this becomes 6. If this is 7, this is 6. And that doesn't work. If I put 7 here, I hope it's not broken in this direction as well. Because if that's 7, this becomes 7. No, it's not. Right. Okay, so if this is 7, this becomes 7, 9, because the 7 wouldn't be able to repeat in any of those. 7, 9 means this is 7 plus 9 is 16. This becomes a 6 to get to 22. But I need to put a 6 in this cage. And with a 6 here, I couldn't put a 6 in any of those cells because that sees all of those. But we know this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's not the 7. This is the 7, and these sum to 9. But now there is a 7, 9 in here because I can't put 7 in any of those. So this, or no, there's a 7 in here. This could still be 9. Actually, did I get that wrong before? I got that wrong before. Because if this is 7, I just have to put 7 in there. This could be 6, 9, and 6, 7, and this could be 9. And if this is 6, 7, I could put the 6 there and the 6 there. And this could be the 7. Damn, that was wrong. I'm not following the geometry on this. Surely this trick has to be repeatable somehow. Is it down here now? So for example, if I put 4 here, no, can I put 4 in either of those? Because the 7 in one of those forced 7 into the 22 cage. 4 here would force 4 into this, which doesn't work. So I can't put 4 there. 4 here would force 4 into one of those two. But I can put 4 into an 18 cage. Or I could just hide it outside the 18 cage. The shape of these cages breaks that trick again. I know. Where is 7 in this column, I suppose, is an interesting question. Because if this is a 7, the 7 is down here. Because I can't put it in this box and I can't repeat it in the cage. So there's a 7 down here or a 7 up here. Wait a minute. So one of these... So if there's a 7 here, there's a 7 down here, and that 7 forces a 7. So one of these cages is 6, 7, 9, and the other one has to be 5, 8, 9. Because I couldn't put 7 in both of those, because then I couldn't put 7 in either of those. There'd be a 7 in here, and I can't do that because there's no 7 in the box. So one of these is 5, 8, 9. But I can't... But one of these is 6, 7, 9, which puts the 8 in one of those two. So there's an 8 in one of those two. This isn't a 6, by the way. Because of that. I should have got that earlier. But that doesn't stop this being 6, 3, 7. I don't understand. So whichever one is 6, 7, 9 has an 8 here. And if this is 6, 7, if this is 6, 7, 9, this is an 8. which would push 8 into one of those two. I'm not following the geometry on this. I'm not following the geometry on this. Like, is it that this can't be 1? But I can hide 1 here. Like, if this is 1, 1 is in one of those two, which would push it into one of those. Now, I can't put 1 in the 21 cage, so this had become a 1, but I can do that. But I can put a 4 in this 21 cage with 4, 8, 9. And then, so if this is a 1, that's a 1. If this is a 2, that's a 2. But if this is a 4, I can hide a 4 in any of those. So I don't understand. I really don't understand. So, okay, one of these is 6, 7, 9. And we know the 7 is in here. So we've got 6, 7, 9 with the 7 in one of those two. The other one is 5, 8, 9. And then it'd have an 8 in one of those. The other one is 5, 8, 9. So we add 5 and 8, but we know the 8 can't be in this column because the 8 has to be in here. So we add 5 and 8, but we take the 8 out of there. So these become 5, 6, 9. So is this a 5, 6, 7, 9 quadruple? These are a 5, 6, 7, 9 quadruple. What the heck does that do? So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And I know I can't put 8 in here. And I can't put 7 in here. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 only. Now this is not... There's geometry here I am missing. But this is one of these. So this is not that. Because this is one of those cells. This can't go in any of those. So this cell is one of these. This is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So this is the 1, 2, 4. And these have to sum to 9. So it's not 9. This is 1, 2, 3, or 4. Because these have to sum to 9. Those are the ones that have to sum to 9. Because this has to go here, because it can't go here, because that has to go in the 22 cage. That's what I was missing. What can I do with that? But this has to go in one of those two. This has to go in one of those two. But that's okay. But that's not it. But this goes in one of those two. But this doesn't have to be the thing, because this can go in one of those two, and that could be the 1, the 2, or the 4 there. But this one couldn't be, because that is in one of those two. That's not an 8, so that's not a 1, because I can't put an 8 in this cage. So 1, but now 1, 2, 3, and 4 have to go in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 have to go in here because there has to be a 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this cage, and they're not in those cells. So this is not 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 8. This is now the 6, 7, 9. And we know that the 6, 7, 9 has the 7 in here. This is not the 7. And that's the 7 because that's what forced the 7 into there. So this is not the 7. And this is now not the 8 because the 8 is in one of those two. And this is the 5, 8, 9 without the 8 being there. Holy cow. There's no 7 here, so there's no 2 here. Seven is up here, so this is not 7. Seven is up here somewhere. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 6. Yeah, sorry, where does this cell go in this box? It goes in there, so it can't be the 5. This is the 6, so this is a 3. Which puts 3 up here somewhere. But this is 6, 3. That 9 sum is now done. These sum to 9. So it's 5, 4, or 6, 3. There's no 1 or 2 in here. This is a 3 or a 4 only. Because these have to sum to 9. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a terrible pencil mark, but I'm doing it anyway. Actually, I really don't want to. Actually, I think all of this is now completely terrible pencil marking. So what can I do now? I know that these are the same digit. So I'm going to remove the colouring here. And I'm going to put just a line. Actually, what I might do instead is I'll just put an X there to indicate those are the digits that sum to 9. Those are the digits that sum to 9, but I don't know about the others. Okay, sorry about the interruption. The problem with trying to do a puzzle like this on your lunch break is work can call you on your lunch break, and I had to take a work call. So, I really, I've just solved a tricky technical problem, and now I've got to come back to a trickier technical problem. So I have no idea what I was doing. So if I just roll back a couple of steps, I was just putting X's in to indicate that those were 9s. Well, there's a 6 there, so let's get out of the wrong mode and take the 6 out of there. So 6 is in one of those two, so 6 is up here. That's right. The trick about this puzzle is that the digit that is in the cell here has to go in one of these because it can't repeat in the cage. It can't repeat in the row. So this digit will be in one of those two. This digit will be in one of those two. This digit will be one of those two. And of course, these have to be in one of those. So that is that digit. That was that digit, but I've already got that. This digit is in one of those two. So this, yeah, this can't be a 6 because if I put a 6 here, where do I put a 6 in this in box 1? Because I couldn't put it in the row, I couldn't put it in the cage, and this is 5, 8, 9, so I can't put a 6 in it. So this is the 5, so this is the 9, this is the 6, this is not the 6. One day Sven will implement the ability for me to be able to talk, say something, and do the wrong thing with the keyboard, and then the grid will do the right thing. I don't want him tuning this into my microphone. That would just be terrible. So this is 9 with 5, 8. This is now the 5, which puts 5 down here somewhere. But these sum to 9, so that's a 4, which means this is not a 4. So this is a 1 or a 2. So I have to put a 1 or a 2 in one of these, which means the central grid number... Well, hang on, this can't be a 2 anymore. Oh, hang on. No, wait. Yeah, yes, it can. Sorry, it was the other digits that sum to 9. But this can't be a 4, 5 in the middle anymore. So if this was a 5, this can't be a 5. Because if this is a 5, this would have to be a 4 because for this to be a 5, this digit would go here and these would have to sum to 9. This would be 5, this would be 4, and it can't be. This is not the 5. The 5 is in this 36 cage. This is still breaking my brain. Now, you can't... There must be the 8 and the 9 in each of these. So there is a 1 in this cage somewhere. So if this is the 1... Yeah, if this is the 2, then the 1 is in this cage. Yeah, I don't understand. This is the 2. If this is the 2, this is the 2. This couldn't be a 1. Yeah, because you can never use 1, 8 because the 8's not available. Right, I get that now. So 5 is in one of these two. So 5 is not here. So 5 is down here somewhere. 5 is down here somewhere. 5 is not... So 5 is not in this 18 cage. 6 is not in this 18 cage. Seven is not in this 18 cage because I have to put 7 into this 28 cage. I can't put it there because this is the 1, 2, 4 that's there, and I can't put it there. So 7 is in here. So this can't have 5, 6, or 7 in it. This is a 1, 8, 9 cage. And there's no 8 there. That's the 1, 9. That's the 8. The 1, 9 makes that the 7 and that the 9. The 1 means this is not 1, which means this is not 1. This is now a 2, 4. This is tricky. Now this has to go in here. So this is a 2, 4. Because this digit is this digit. And this digit has to go in one of those two, and it's not there. So that is also yellow, which means yellow, of course, is up here. But that's not a problem. There's no 4 up here. So this is 1, 2, or 3. This can't be 4, 5, 7, 8, or 9. This is 1, 2, 3, or 4. 5 is down here somewhere. Actually, what are these 3? That's not a 7 anymore. 1, 2, 3. It could be 2, can't be 3. It could be 4, 5. So this is 2, 4, or 5, and this is 2, 4, or 5. This digit is 1, 8, or 9. Because this digit has to go into one of those two cells because it can't repeat in the cage. So this is 1, 8, or 9, and we know it's not 8 or 9 because of the logic we did right at the start. This is the 1. And you can never have 1, 8 summed to 9. This digit is this digit. Those are the same digit. So this is the 1 and this is not the 1, and we've got a 2, 4 pair. These now have to sum to 9. But that 1 makes that 9 and that 1. 1 is now up here. I can get rid of the colouring on that, but it puts 1 in one of those two. This is nuts. This puzzle is absolute bonkers. So these two digits sum to 9. So I can put one of those X's beside it. So what are the possibilities? I can't use 1, 8. I could use 7, 2. I could use 3, 6. I can't use 4, 5. They're the only possibilities. So this is only a 6 or a 7. And that means this digit has to go in one of those two. Well, hang on, this 21 cage, does it need to have a 9 in it? Yes, it does. This 21 cage must have a 9 in it because this 9 forces it. Actually, this is a 9 because, and there must be an 8 in one of those two. So there's an 8 and a 9 in this 21 cage because this 8 forces 8 out of here, but I can't put 8 in the 28 cage. 9 can't go in the 28 cage and 9 can't go in any of those. So that's 8 and 9. 8 and 9 is 17. So this is 4, 8 pair. The 4, 8 pair makes that the 2, which means that's 2 and that's 2, and I can get rid of the yellow. The 2 makes this 3. These have to sum to 9, so that becomes the 6. And these, and well, that's not a 6 anymore. Is it 5, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, these are 5 and 7. So this is a 5, 7. This is not 2 anymore. Oh, this is not 2 anymore. This is a 4, 5 pair. 2 is actually up here. This is weird. Very, very weird. I know I shouldn't be whispering. 6 in this cage. This digit has to go in one of those two, and it's not 9. So that's the 6. Have to put 6 in one of those 3. Because it has to go in this cage. 2, 4 is in one of those two. And then it'll jump into one of those, because it can't be the 9 and it can't be the 5 or the 8. Oh, this is nuts. Absolute bonkers. But I know the makeup of these digits. I can't put a 4 in here, but this is a 4 because I can't put a 4 into here, but I need a 4 in this cage, and that's not a 4. So this is a 4. Oh, this is a 4 as well. So that digit is that digit, and these are the two digits that have to add to 9. And they're not 1, 8. They could be 2, 7. They can't be 3, 6. They can't be 4, 5. These are 2, 7. And that 2 makes that 7 and that the 2, which means this is not the 2. This is not the 7. 7 is in one of those two. This 4 makes this the 8 and this the 4. The 8 makes this 5 and this 8. These are 1 and 3. That's a 1, 3 pair. So this is the 2. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's no 7 there. There's no 4 there. 2 is down here somewhere. So what are these? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. There's no 1 there. There's no 2 there. It is actually not great, is it? Actually, that's pretty terrible. That's actually pretty terrible. So if I got some naked singles like this, 1 can be can't can't be 1, it can be 2, can't be 3, 4, 5, it can be 6, can't be 7, 8 or 9. So this is 2 or 6. What about this one? 1 can be 2, can't be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. This is 2. So this is 6, which means this is 4 and this is not 4. This is a 6, 7 pair. Oh, this is not 2. 2 is in one of those. This is not 2. So this is 2. This is absolutely crazy. This is a 4-5 pair now? 4-5, 4-5. Where does 4-5 go? This is a 4-5 pair. So this is not 9. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7, 8, and 9. Well, there's no 8 or 9 there. That's the 7. So this is not the 7. This is an 8, 9 pair. And this 9 makes that the 8 and that the 9. This is not the 8. This is actually actually, I can put what this is. This is just the 8. So this is just the 9. These are 1 and 2. And this is a 3. So this is a 1 or a 2? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh man, so close. This is a 4-5 pair. So there's no 5 in any of those. There's no 5 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 6, 7. Well, I can't put 6 up. Where is 6 in this column? It's not there. It's not there. It's not in any of those. It's not in any of those. That's the 6. So this is the 4-5 pair. So it's 1, 3, 7. This is 1, 3 or 7 only. It's not 1. So these are 3, 5, and 7 in here. No, wait. I could put a 4 there. There's no 7 in either of those. So these... Wow. But I've done all the killer logic, haven't I? I've used the 9 trick. I've got all of the things outside the cages. So these are down to just quadruples and stuff. And I've used the 9 trick for the totals. And all of these corner cages are resolved. What the heck have I missed? Is it the quads in these columns? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So 3, 5, 7, 8. There's no 8 there. There's no 3 in either of those. There's no 8 there. Oh, that is so close. Six is in one of those two. 6 is in one of those two. That's not it either. 3. 3 is in one of those two spots in column 1 and those two spots in column 8. So that can't be a 3. Because if that was a 3, that'd force both of those to be 3s and I'd have a problem. So this is 5, 7, or 8. I can't put 3 in any of those. So 3 is in one of these two. And it's not there. Whereas 3 in this box, I can't put it in any of those. That's a 3, which means this is not a 3. This is a 1 or a 7. This is now 5, 7, 8. This is not a 3. These are still from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'm not sure what that's doing. Is it these other quads? What is these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 4, 5, 9. Well, there's no 4 in any of those. That's not 9. There's no 9 there. This row is just empty. And this is 1, 6, 8, 9. Hang on, this is 1, 6, 8, 9. This. It sees 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. That's a 1. So there's no 1 in those. So this is 3, 4, 5, or 7. So this is 3, 4, or 5 only. Because I can't use 7 for multiple reasons. But this is now a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. There's no 8 there, or 9. That's a 6. So there's no 6 in those. This is an 8, 9 pair. Oh my lord, that's doing nothing. Oh, hang on, there's no 7 there. So 7 is down here, which I already had. This 6 makes this 7 and this 6. The 7 makes this 1, which makes this 3, this 1, this 3, which makes this 1, this 2. But now where does 3, that makes this 5, which makes this 4, this 5, which resolves this is the 3, which makes this the 7, this the 5, and this the 4. I can get rid of all the colouring now. Now the 5 means that's not the 5, and that's not the 5. 1, 2 means this is 3, 4, 5. The 2 looks up making that 1 and that 2. This is 3, 4, 5. There's the 3, 5 there, so that's the 4, which makes that the 5 and that the 3. The 7 makes that the 5 and that the 4, which makes that the 9, that the 8, and that the 7. The 8 looks up making that the 9. There's no 9 there. This is a 1, 5. Which means this is the 8. The 5 makes that the 7. This 1 makes this the 5 and this the 1. And that is the solution, and I'm sorry about the break in the middle there, to Rose Terrace by Riffclown. Holy free holy. Geometry puzzle to the max. Beautiful geometry though. But if you're not used to geometry puzzles, and I isn't, that was absolutely bonkers. Beautiful, though. I mean, the way Riffclown is able to just draw the essence out of a puzzle and geometry. And the thing is, these cages are just so perfectly balanced with these 28s, and then it's just these little corners and the digits in the middle. And these are just gimmies, and it's just what these cages do and how they force the geometry. If you see geometry like better than I do, someone like Mavericks JD, I imagine, is going to plow through this in like 10 minutes. And I know other setters who could do it as well. But yeah, that wow. If you want to learn geometry in killer puzzles, this is the one to do. But expect it to be a challenge unless you're already good at it. Phenomenal puzzle. Thank you, Riffclown, for the puzzle. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Please remember to like puzzles, comment on them if you wish. And if you're not subscribed, please do. It makes a huge difference. I get most of the views I get on this channel are from subscribers, so I really do appreciate it. Only about 30% of viewers aren't. Over on BremSter Games, 95% of the people who see my content over there are not subscribed. And it's like, ouch, because it would make a huge difference if they were. But anyway, thank you everyone who contributes to the channels that I have, and both in puzzles and in just everything. I really do appreciate it. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.